Donald Trump joins me now live on the phone. Mr. Trump, thank you for joining us. Tell us what happened tonight.
Well, I got to Chicago a couple of hours ago, and we had 25,000 people scheduled for tonight. We're going to have a lot outside and inside, a tremendous gathering and of real supporters. And at the same time, we had some protesters outside, which was probably 2,000 or 3,000. And I met with law enforcement. I don't want to see anybody hurt, Don. So I met with law enforcement, and I think we made the wise decision to cancel. Now it's pretty well broken up and no major problems. And we made a decision, even though our freedom of speech is violated totally, we made a decision not to go forward. I don't want to see anybody get hurt, and you would have had some people possibly getting hurt or beyond. And so I made the decision in conjunction with law enforcement not to do the rally. We postponed it.
Do you think that you were protesters have been expected tonight at your rally? Was your campaign prepared for this?
Oh, I think we were prepared, but you can be prepared as you want. When you have thousands of people, you don't want to see a clash. Yeah. And there were minor skirmishes, but no major clash.
You've seen the pictures, I'm sure, of what happened inside of that rally. I'm sure you've been watching and looking at these pictures. What do you make of what you saw?
Well, I think it's a divided country. I think we have a very divided country, Don, and it's been that way for a long time, and it's very sad to see. It's divided among many different groups, and frankly, it's terrible. You look at a lot of people are upset because they haven't had a salary increase in 12 years. If you look at the workers of the country, our jobs are being taken away. Our jobs are being sent to Mexico, and they're being sent to all sorts of other countries, and our factories are closing. We have a lot of problems, and we don't have a real unemployment rate of 5%. It's probably closer to 25%.
Mr. Trump, with all due respect, you think that what happened...
As people give up looking for jobs, Don, all of a sudden they're considered employed statistically. And so it's
do you think that's what caused that directly tonight, the scuffle?
Say it again?
Do you think that caused the scuffle directly tonight? Because those people who were fighting tonight weren't fighting over jobs.
Yeah. I think it's largely economic. I mean, if you look at African-American youth, they have a 59% unemployment rate, 59%. And it's, I think it's a largely economic problem, absolutely.
Do you think it has anything to do with the tone that some have said that you have set by telling people to get them out or punch them in the face or they should be taken out on the stretcher? Do you think that you bear any responsibility for what's happened at these tonight and at other rallies?
I don't take responsibility. Nobody's been hurt at our rallies, and we have I've had 25,000, 35,000 people, more than that. We had one the other day, 25,000 in Florida, and we've never had anybody hurt, or certainly seriously hurt. But I don't even know if we've had anybody hurt. So, we've had a tremendous, large number of rallies and massive numbers of people, nobody even close to us in terms of size, and they're great people, but we will have protesters stand up and be very, very abusive, unbelievably abusive, and in some cases swinging and, punching and swinging, and not a good situation. And I think overall, I think we've been very mild with protesters, and some will stand up and we'll just usher them out. And, it's not me that ushers them out, it's the police force, and the police have done great jobs. So until today, we've really never had much of a problem. Now, we were in St. Louis today. We had a packed house. We had thousands and thousands of people that, frankly, couldn't get in. And we had a few protests. It was not a big deal. It was individual protesters standing up. There were quite a few of them, 7 or 8 of them, I would say, 7 or 8 incidences, which was fine. And we had everybody had a good time. I hope the protesters had a good time, Don, to be honest with you. Nobody hurt.
I want to ask you a question that my colleague Jake Tapper asked you last night at the debate. Do you believe that you have done anything, Mr. Trump, to create a tone where this kind of violence would be encouraged? And I'm going to add to that by saying, if your words and your tone inspire people to vote for you, to come to the rallies, to go to the polls and vote, why wouldn't those same words inspire people to violence?
Well, I hope that my tone is not that of causing violence, because my basic tone is really that of securing our borders, of having a country and having a great country, of bringing our jobs back, of bringing our manufacturing back down, of getting people jobs. That includes African American youth, where you have a 59% unemployment rate. So I would hope that that does not lead to, I certainly don't do that. I will say we've had tremendous success with people. You see the kind of polls, you see the kind of, popularity that we have in the rallies themselves is love. I mean, it's a love fest in the rallies themselves. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. You've been reporting about it.
Well,
it's been
let
on
me
the
just
cover of Time magazine.
Let me just read something.
There's great love, Don. Let me just finish by saying there's great love in those big stadiums. There's great love there.
But there are protests
at the same time, when there's a clash or a potential clash like tonight, I think I did the right thing. I came here and I met with law enforcement and I said, "What do you think?" And they're very professional, and they said it would be better not to do it, because if you do it tonight, you could have a clash and people could get hurt. I didn't want to see people get hurt.
I heard your tone was different last night at the debate, much more presidential. You said that you wanted to be a uniter in chief, rather a divider in chief. What happened at this rally tonight certainly wasn't a love fest, as you have said. There was a lot of love. In the past, and I'm going to tell you some of your own words, you have said at your rallies that people should knock the crap out of a protester, that you'd pay the legal fees. You talked about people being brought out on stretchers. Also, you said that you'd like to punch a protester in the face. You've insulted all kinds of people, according to what people believe, by saying that Mexico is sending over rapists, that Muslims shouldn't be allowed in this country. There should be a moratorium for a while. Do you regret saying any of those things, especially the things that you have said about punching protesters, sending them out on stretchers?
No, I don't regret it at all. Some of these protesters were violent. They were swinging. They were hitting people. And they were really doing damage. And frankly, the crowd turned on them, or the police turned on them. In most cases, it was the police. And I would absolutely, on occasion, usually I say, please don't hurt them. Please take it easy. Because, being elevated and being, looking down at an audience, usually I'm higher than the audience so they can see. What happens is I'm able to see the protesters. I'm able to see what's going on. And, generally speaking, it's very mild. But on occasion, and the occasions that you said, I saw very, very strong, very violent protesters hitting people. And yeah, I'm not happy about that. And I would always express my feelings about that. And
our reporters who follow you,
ago,
Mr. Trump, and who have been very fair with you, have said that they have not seen protesters attacking anyone. If anything, it is the other way around, that protesters are being attacked after they start to protest or to in any way disagree with you. But protesters are not the ones who resort to violence first. It is your supporters who are doing it.
It's not true when you say that statement, Don. It's not true. It's absolutely
I don't know it's not
false.
true. That's why I'm asking.
They'll stand up and they'll start swinging at people. In not all cases, very seldom. 10% of the cases. But we've had some very rough dudes as protesters.